tip friends. My name is Constance, and this is Cruelty-Free Musings. Welcome back to the show and to the channel. Let me try and get a little better in frame. And whatever. I'll move anyway. This is my July empties, and I know that July is not over, but I always do empties at this time of the month. You can't stop me. We're going to do this in no particular order. It should be a fast video. There's no telling, but it should be a fast video because I don't have that much stuff. I don't use up that much stuff in a month, guys. I did use up a toothpaste. This is my last non-cruelty-free full-size toothpaste. Still, most of the travel-size toothpaste that I have is either Sensodyne or Crest, so not cruelty-free, but this is the last one that I was using on a full-time basis, and I'm only on cruelty-free toothpaste now, except for, this weekend when I'm traveling. Doesn't count. This I used up this morning. This is the Pharmacy Green Screen Daily Environmental Protector. Broad spectrum SPF 30 sunscreen for all skin types. Apply over moisturizer and or under makeup. I finished this off this morning. I like it. It's a nice moisturizer. It doesn't seem to sting my eyes. It could be that I've just never over applied it, but it doesn't seem to sting my eyes, which is important. Every other sunscreen that I've used pretty much has stung my eyes at some point. So I might purchase this after I use up my current full-size sunscreen, which is pretty good, but this is also a physical SPF versus being a chemical SPF, and those are generally speaking a little bit better for your skin. To have the just moving my mic a little bit. Let's see if we can get it out of frame but still capturing good sound. We'll see. We'll see how that works. That seems okay. So, physical sunscreens tend to be a little bit better for your skin than chemical SPFs. Yeah, I don't know if I finished that thought. Whatever. Does not matter that much. The next thing that I finished off is this Ole Henriksen Truth Sea Rush Brightening Gel Creme. This is a daytime moisturizer. It says to use it in the morning for best effects. Vitamin C protects a little bit in, as an antioxidant. It will both fade freckles, which I don't love that aspect. I like my freckles. But it'll both fade pigmentation and also it will protect a little bit against sun. So generally speaking, you would use a vitamin C serum or moisturizer in the morning to protect against, it's a little extra layer of defense against the sun. I used it up. I didn't like at first that it smelled of oranges, as you might expect, because vitamin C is ascorbic acid, which is the main ingredient. That's the main acid that makes oranges taste like oranges. So it smelled a little bit like orange juice at first, but I got used to it. So it's not bad. It's nothing life-changing. I did notice that it faded my freckles, but since I like my freckles, I'm not attached to it. For specifically that reason, I would rather have my freckles that I have had for actually as long as I can remember than use a vitamin C moisturizer all over my face. But if you want the pigmentation fading effect, this actually works. The Truth Serum. The Truth Sea Rush Brightening Gel Creme. And I might eventually get a vitamin C serum for under my eyes because my dark circles are very brown and I might eventually want a an eye cream that will fade my dark under eye circles. There we go. That wasn't that hard. The hazards of wearing a strapless top. This is actually a dress. I can either have the top of my head in shot, or I can have the dress in shot. So it's, give you the impression that I might be naked, or cut off the top of my hair. Choices. Another sample size. This is the Pixie Skin Treats Glow Tonic. Exfoliating toner, 5% glycolic acid with aloe vera and ginseng. This is a nice little toner. I prefer pouring it into my hand. Sorry about the noise, this box. I prefer pouring it into my hand and then patting it gently over my skin to pouring it on a cotton pad and rubbing the cotton pad over my skin. I find that approach works better for me with toners in general. That's how I use my Lancome toner that I'm working on panning / using up currently. Alright, let's carry on with the sample sizes and also the skincare. This is my current sunscreen. Not this bottle, of course. I bought the full size. This is the Unseen Sunscreen by Supergoop, SPF 40. I bought this because it is a very nice sort of primer for underneath makeup, and it'll grip onto powder or onto foundation pretty well, which is nice. But this also, if I put too much on my forehead, it will still leak into my eyes and sting my eyes. And this is a chemical sunscreen, avobenzone homosalate, octinoxate, octisalate. And it's also loaded with sulfates, which is an ingredient I try to avoid. I think it's loaded with sulfates. It might just be loaded with silicones. Either way, it's loaded with things that aren't great for your skin, and you have to wash off very thoroughly afterwards. And probably not super related. Probably more related just to the fact that I don't wash my face thoroughly enough at night, but I have been having persistent acne and redness on my chin while I've been using this. It could be this, it could just be my face wash habits in general. But I think I might pick up the Pharmacy Green Screen instead once I run out of the Unseen sunscreen. Continuing on. Here is my last sample size thing. This is the Tatcha Polished Classic Rest Enzyme Powder. I use this as an exfoliation step. It works really well. I use it on my face, and I also use it on Husbear's back. Whenever he is getting particularly red and erupted on his back, then I would pour a little bit of this into my hands and go through the same general process that you use for rubbing it on your face. You put a little bit into your hand, add a few drops of water, rub it up to a foam, and then polish his back in this case until it's smooth. Which it did seem to work well, both for my face and his back. So I might pick this up again, but I also have other exfoliants, so I don't miss it that much. I like it. I like all of the Tatcha things that I have purchased. It's been this, my cleansing oil, and I've also gotten a second cleanse slash exfoliation step, which seems very nice. But I don't need the rice powder in my life right now, is my general thought. Speaking of Tatcha and my cleansing oil, this is the Tatcha Pure, the Tatcha Pure One-Step Camellia Cleansing Oil. It's beautiful, isn't it? I pulled this out to use it for the first time, and Bear was like, "Oh, what's that? That looks fancy." He doesn't notice most of the things that I own, but he noticed this one because it looked special. And I was like, yes, I bought this because I used up the entire sample size. And then I was like, yeah, maybe I want not just a cleansing oil, but this cleansing oil specifically. So I have already repurchased this one. It's really nice. I will say that my skin looks and feels fantastic when I use the cleansing oil, and then after that, I think it's the deep cleanse. It's the little, well, the one that I have is little. It's the aqua container with little fruit particles that is a cleanser and an exfoliant in one. My skin feels so soft after that combination. It's really nice. Alright, let's move into makeup. I have a couple things. Actually, all of these things are not really finished, but I have decided that I am done with them. So this mascara I opened in April. Right? April or maybe March. It is definitely at its 3 months life, which is when you're supposed to get rid of mascaras. I will say that I'm rather glad that I only paid $11 for this. I bought it when it was a weekly wow. But I'm also grateful that I bought this because it taught me that every mascara with paraffin in it will eventually smudge or flake off my lashes. In case I did not say, this is the Stila Huge Extreme Lash Mascara. I usually put it in my description box as just the Stila Huge Mascara. It is a nice mascara on me for about a month, and then it starts to smudge when it gets wet, which is terrible because I have sensitive eyes and they water all the time. I wore this to see Won't You Be My Neighbor, the documentary about Mr. Rogers, and there was the most adorable and heartbreaking little short before the adorable and heartbreaking documentary, and I just cried for an hour and 45 minutes, basically. And my eyes were already watering on that day because I had put a little too much sunscreen on my forehead and around the corners of my eyes, and it had gotten into my eyes and started making them water. At the end of the movie and going out to eat, I walked into the bathroom at my house and looked at my cheek, and I was like, oh my goodness, there are actual track marks of black from the corners of my eye. Not black, but like smudgy gray, because I would, dab and kind of wipe it away. So it wasn't dark pigmented black. But it definitely it was not good. It was not good. And the interesting thing about this is that I have worn this early in its life in situations where I cried and it didn't smudge and flake. But once it got to about the 2.5 month mark, it smudged and it flaked. So I decided to start looking at ingredients of mascara because of this mascara. I was like, I am done with having these mascaras that everybody raves about that don't work for me. And it turns out that Too Faced Better Than Sex, everyone raves about it. It flakes super terribly on me. It has paraffin in it. This mascara has paraffin in it. The Essence Lash Paradise, which everyone raves about, and which I love for like the first hour of wear. It looks great. Until it starts flaking off my lashes, and then it's nowhere to be seen. These problematic mascaras that work for everyone else, but they don't work for me, they all have paraffin in them. So I'm avoiding mascaras with paraffin in them. And I looked up a few mascaras that have worked really well for me, one of which is the Smashbox Superfan Mascara. I'm still using that deluxe sample size that I opened during spring break. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care that it, I just don't care that it's past the 3-month shelf life. I opened it in March, it's now July. It's a month past when I ought to have replaced it. But you know what? It still works fine. And it has a lot of waxes in it. It has some glycerin in it. And it does not have paraffin. So I was like, well, let's look for mascaras with a lot of wax and no paraffin. And that is going to be the standard of mascara. That is going to be my standard mascara experience from now on. I am not going to buy a mascara if it has paraffin in it, because even if it doesn't flake right now, it will flake or smudge eventually. The L'Oreal Lash Paradise flakes once it gets near the end of its lifespan for me. Also has paraffin in it. Who knew? Yeah, it's very consistent. Next up, this is in my project Get Stuff Out of My Collection. This is the Lancome liquid pencil in extreme longwear drama liquid pencil extreme longwear eyeliner in Noir Diamant. I have used this enough times to be certain that I just don't want the little glitter sparkles inside my eyes. And it doesn't last as a liner on the top of my lash lines. The top of my lash line. And it even has gotten to the point that it doesn't transfer onto my waterline. I don't know if I was confused and I thought it transferred and it just didn't, or if it dried out and stopped going onto my waterline, but it no longer goes onto my waterline, and I'm not here for that. So, I have decided it no longer has a place in my collection. If I need black on my waterline, I will use my black gel eyeliner for that. And finally, the last item. This is my Tarte Shape Tape in light. Yeah, this color that is definitely wrong for me. Look, you can tell. You can tell it's too dark for me, and on top of that, it oxidizes on me. I don't know if it oxidizes on anyone else, but it oxidizes on me, and that sucks. Because it's already too dark for me. I was trying to use this as a foundation. I used it up to the point that I needed to take the stopper out, and I had already decided, it might even be on a video somewhere, that as soon as I needed to take the stopper out of it, I would get rid of it because I just don't want to deal with it. Well, the time has come. I did take the stopper out of it, and I just hate the experience of taking the stopper out. Let me show you how terrible this experience is. Oh no, it's wobbly. Oh, look at how gross it is. Ugh. That is like the entire amount of concealer that I would need to use this as a foundation, which I'm really too pale to do, even in the summertime. So I have to, if I'm using this as a foundation, which I was for a little while, I have to mix it with something to not only lighten the coverage, but also actually lighten it. And, I just feel so much hostility towards this little bottle of concealer that I have definitely had for more than 6 months at this point, and I'm just like, I don't even want to look at this anymore. So, yeah, that is my empties for July 2018. I hope you enjoyed or learned something. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you feel like, and goodbye for now.